A few years ago, a hospice nurse shared a story about a patient named Margaret. Margaret had no family, no accolades, no social media presence. But in her final days, she handed the nurse a worn out journal. Inside of it were close to 1,000 of names of people she had prayed for daily, strangers she had read about in news clippings, neighbors she had silently helped. And she says, I wanted my life to be a quiet, silent song, she wrote, not a noisy performance. When she died, the nurse said the room felt so holy, as if the walls of the room had absorbed decades of whispers to God. And Margaret's journal is what Ash Wednesday looks like when it bleeds into real life. Secret, sacred, and surprisingly alive. Today, Jesus wants us not to turn faith into a theater act. When you pray, go into your room, he says. And when you fast, wash your face. And when you give, don't let your left hand know what your right is doing. In other words, hide your holiness. Not because God is stingy with his grace, but because love grows best in the dark, like seeds buried in soil. Prayer, it's a whispered revolution. A rabbi once said, prayer is not about changing God, it's about being changed by God. A teacher I know spends her lunch break sitting in her car, praying for students by name. No one knows. But last year, a troubled kid left a note on her desk. I felt like someone was fighting for me, the student says. That's the power of secret prayer. It's a rebellion against despair. This Lent, try a 10-minute challenge. 10 minutes a day, no words. Just sit down with God. Let him rearrange your chaos. Fasting, it is a hunger that heals. Fasting isn't about punishing your body. It's about freeing your soul. A recovering addict once told me he gave up alcohol for Lent. But what healed him was fasting from that shame. I stopped apologizing for existing, he says. That was the beginning of his recovery. Jesus says, anoint your head. Don't let your fast make you look miserable. Let it make you merciful instead. Fast from resentment, fast from scrolling, fast from the need to be right. This Lent, choose a heart fast. What inner clutter starves your joy, and let that go. Almsgiving, the joy of getting not caught. In 2020, a Chicago diner kept finding anonymous envelopes with cash and a note for anyone who needs a meal. The owner said it felt like God's grace was a regular visitor to that diner. That's almsgiving, Jesus style. Sneaky, joyful, and untraceable. The kingdom of God is built by people who don't stay for the credit. This Lent, be a ghost of generosity. Leave a gift where it's needed, then vanish. And repeat if possible. Today, we will be marked with ashes in public to remind us that holiness happens in private. The cross on your forehead isn't for your Instagram story. It's a tattoo for your soul saying, I am imperfect, I am returning, I am His. These ashes we will wear aren't a badge of honor either. They are a filter for the soul saying, without God, I am dust. But here is the twist. dust isn't the end. In Genesis, the book of Genesis, God breathes into dust and creates life. And these ashes are an invitation. Let God breathe on your dust. Let him turn your brokenness into a new beginning. In the 4th century, monks fled cities to desert to pray in solitude. When admirers trekked to their caves seeking wisdom, the monks would often sigh and say, "Go home, love your family, tend your garden. The real desert is where you are." This Lent, you don't need a cave, just a corner, a closet, a quiet heart. And as you receive ashes today, imagine God whispering to you, "Let's build something beautiful in secret, you and me." This Lent, the road ahead isn't about proving your faith. It's about rediscovering your faith. Go today, hide your holiness, and watch it grow in silence.